Hi everyone, well I'm back in Bulgaria now, bit tired because it was a long old journey, but it's great to be with you today. So today it's going to be quite a few little bits rather than a structure. I just wanted to answer a few questions, probably the best thing to do is get straight in, and someone asked about showing you shrink plastic, so I thought I'd do that quickly first. So get my shrink plastic here. I always like to roughen it up. Some of them come sanded, so if you've got that you won't need to prepare it, but what I like to do is just rub a sanding block over the shrink plastic and then also use an anti-static bag. Now I do this because sometimes, especially on the bigger pieces, when they roll over, sometimes it can stick to itself, so it's always worth just giving it a dust over with some anti-static bag. So also with the shrink plastic, you do tend to find that when you go to stamp it, it can smudge. So with the new stamping platforms, you find that that's a lot easier to do. So that's what I like to do. So I'm just going to choose a stamp here. Let's have a look what we've got. It should be a good one to show you. Let's have a look what we've got in here. It's I know what we'll use. We'll use one of the faces today. So this one is ATC Antics. This was from my last collection. So on here we've got a reverse and a positive bubble wrap, which I think is great. Less and less people now are using bubble wrap for packaging, so it's going to be harder and harder to get hold of. This is why I decided that it would be a great addition to the collection. And also, obviously, you can do a lot of things that you can't do with real bubble wrap, like use your UT and all your heat techniques on it. So these are fantastic stamps for texture. So let's use Trent on here. So just place your stamp where you want it. Now I always recommend using the StazOn for this. I think it gives a much better result, really. Oh, another little tip I'll show you in a second. Let's just stamp that first. There we are, so you've got a nice perfect impression on that. I'll just put these down and hold that up for you. There we are. So that gives a really lovely impression. You don't have to push. As I've said before, with my stamps, they're excellent quality. You don't need to press hard. If you press hard, all you're going to do is you're going to splay out the ink and you're not going to get a nice result. So you just very light pressure. And while we've got that on the block, one thing I will show, I've said it on the shows before, I don't clean my stamps unless I've used anything like paint or things like that. So what I usually do then is I've used my stamp, so I just put it on a piece of copy paper, just move it along until you get no more ink coming off, and then that's clean. That doesn't need to be washed. The thing is with a lot of stamps, if you continually wash them, especially if you're using any product on them, is you're ruining your stamp. You don't need to clean it unless it's absolutely filthy with acrylic or things like that. So that's the top tip there for those. Then next, just cut your image out, just roughly. I just wanted to show you this because actually I had someone get in touch, and it's a couple of people have been in touch about it, so I thought, it doesn't take long to do, so I'll just use it as a quick demonstration on the show today. Plus, because I was so busy, and with the travelling, I thought, it's a good time to answer your questions and sort out some problems that some people might be having. Just get that out of the way. So we've got our image, and we get the heat gun. Just warm that up. While I'm warming that up, this is a great thing to do. It's a shrink plastic ruler. So all you do is you get a regular ruler, put the markings on it, and then that'll help you. So if you say you have a stamp that you want to use, you can measure it with this, and it gives you an idea exactly how much the image is going to shrink to. So if you've got a project that's a certain size, you can check before you use your shrink plastic to see if it's actually going to suit. So just heat this up, and hopefully it won't stick together. You can see last night behind me I've done my little set. I thought it'd be nice to have a board up, so I've used some of the products, and as you can see it's every Wednesday at 7 and the Natter with Nick. So I thought it was a bit fun. Another thing I'm going to do while I do this is a quick heads up. Phil Martin has got back his fantastic stamping blocks. I absolutely love them. Circular, brilliant deep groove through them, perfect to hold, really, really, really comfortable, and fantastic for stamping. So I swear by the two I always use is I use the Clarity stamp handles and the Phil Martin circular one. Now I think it's the 19th, set of 3, different sizes, so perfect. So do watch out for those. And also the Clarity mounts, another thing, fantastic for positioning, because you only actually have to hold the handle. You'll have seen Barbara many times on her show showing how to use, so you can hover above your project, and then position perfectly. So they're my top tips for the stamping tools. And here's our little shrink plastic Trent. There we are. So you can see how simple it is, and it's great for like little bracelets or, you know, different things, especially with the dolphins, flowers, fantastic for things like that. So that's that out the way. Excuse me, I'll just have a drink of water. I'm a bit dry from the plane. Right, while I say about recommendations, I'm saying this because I've had not quite a few, I've had about 4 comments, messages through Facebook. Now I'll recommend anything that I use and anything that I think is brilliant. I don't get paid for it. I don't get any money from Barbara at Clarity. I don't get any money from Phil. The emails I had were accusing me of selling things and getting a huge commission, and that isn't true. People that know me know that I'm truthful, and I like to share. You know, we all use different things in our crafting, so I like to tell you what I find best. When I started crafting, I wasted a lot of money on tools that were really no good, so I think it's helpful to tell people exactly what I use and what I find works for me. We're all different, so some things that one person uses another person might not get on with, but you know, I like to share. So I wanted to get that out of the way really, first of all. Right, so next I thought I'd go through a few of the products, and then that'll lead into my demonstration that I'm going to do today. So first of all, I thought I'd go through the Media Medley collection. It's quite a big collection. What I like to do with the Craftoscope collections is put you together a pack that works fantastically together, gives you all the tools to work within that collection, so you don't need to add anything else. Obviously, if you want to add anything else, that's perfect, and these go well with anything, but I do want to give people a package that they can work to, like a kit, in stamp, die and stencils rather than your toppers and card blanks. So that's why I've done that. So in the Media Medley collection, I've got a fantastic, I love them, really different, handy helpers. These are excellent quality. It's grey rubber, produced for me by Sarah and Vicky at Stamp Addicts, so it is excellent quality. A few of you might have seen it has been copied from a producer in China. It's done on cheap polymer. The images won't print out so well, so you know, they can cut costs. I can't. I've kept the prices as low as I can. I want to give you quality because I want you to try the things, know that they're perfect, and you get perfect results every time. And I can't do them for the sort of money that they're doing. So, you know, if you want to be happy with your stamping, then you do really need to go for the quality, which I say for all things, you know, glues, inks, you know, whatever it is. If you go for the best quality, it may be higher price, but you're always going to be happy and you're always going to get the results you like. So that's the handy helpers. As I say, really great quality. Another thing that's in the collection, which I think are fantastic, is the textures. This is the textures one, and there's some fantastic textures in there. Great for your backgrounds, great for stamping on, for instance, over your flowers and your leaves that I brought out just recently for on Saturday. These are really fantastic, so I'm going to show you a little bit with those a bit later when I come on to my demonstration, but they're well worth having within your pack. They're really nice sizes. I've done them large enough to suit any project like I usually do, so they're large enough for that, but I've kept them so that I can keep them into an A5 size, which, you know, keeps the price down. But they're very good. And then we have the two sets. We've got such a card. These are fantastic little additions, brilliant for backgrounds, brilliant for adding anything to your card. They're great for making a whole card on their own. And then we have Bailey here. What I've done is from the stencils, we've just evolved him a little bit. Still left not so much detail so that you can do a lot more yourself. You know, a lot of people like to add extras. Sadly, all my samples are back in the UK, ready for the shows in August. But you know, I think you can have a look on my blog, and my blog links to all the other design team members, so you can have a look through at the amazing things they've done. Again, very large stamps. They're a lot larger than the A5. But I have kept the price down to an A5 price in the packages, and if you look on my Etsy site, obviously as well, they're on there. So that's that one, and then we've got the finally the last stamp sheet in the set is the ATC Antics. Now this is designed to go perfectly with the ATC die that's always also part of the collection. We've got a brilliant backboard. Back stamp, sorry, to go on the back of your ATC. We've got Xander and Trent. I've put the card things such as the spade, diamond, heart and club, so you can make your own set of cards, which is a really fun thing to do. Nice words in there, so again, all the collections will work with your anything from your ATC through to your card making, scrapbooking, journaling. So really useful set there. All your numbers, your initials for Jack, King, Queen and Ace. A really good set all together to come up with all sorts of different things, and I've seen some amazing samples and amazing projects that you've all been up to since you had the set. Finally in this collection is the ATC card and envelope. A really brilliant, I think a really brilliant set with some lots of useful additions. You've got your photo corners here. They're brilliant for parchment, for attaching. You know, you can cut those into your card and attach them that way. A little question mark and the pointy hands, which are really brilliant. I love those. You've got a lattice. In one of my shows, Natter with Nick, I'm going to go through the lattice properly and show you how to extend it. We'll have a little bit more time then. How to remove the cartouche, extend it to 2, 3, 4, so you can suit any project at all. You've got your plain ATC card there, which is invaluable. That's something I'd been looking around for a long time and hadn't found one. And then we've got our ATC pocket, which you can either use as an envelope, or if you want to cut away the tab, you can use it for the brilliant little card holders. That's a really good one. While I'm covering this, I just wanted to cover another question, and it was with regard to cutting the envelopes. Now this is how the envelope cuts on its own, and you'll see you've got your score lines. Now this is it's a little bit firmer than copier paper. I'd say maybe about an 85-90 GSM pearlescent card. If you cut that on its own, one sheet, you'll find that you will get the scoreline will cut through. It won't cut through completely, but it does need to be there so that it suits all card types. So as I said on all the shows that I've brought this to, you need to use 3. You need to do 3 at a time. Cut the 3 at the time. The dies are perfectly good enough to cut through without any problem, and you don't get any cuts at all. You know, I'll fold these over. You know, that scores your perfect score. Now what I recommend is that you put your card together, use the score line, stick that together first, because this, if you see the score line on the flap, there's actually 3. You've got your main score line, and then either side you've got a slightly wider, fainter score line. Now what that's made to do is, again, so that it suits all different thicknesses of card. Once you've stuck your envelope together, it is then that you fold your flap across. And then that will suit all different card types. If I just put one score line in there, when you fold it over, it's not going to sit properly. So by putting the fainter score lines either side, it means it can suit all card. I don't want to bring out anything that will only be good for one thing. So that's just a little bit about that. If you've got any other questions, or if you're finding it difficult, comment below, send me a message on Facebook. You can go to my Etsy site and there's a conversation panel there, and I'll get back to you always as soon as I can. So that's that. Now let me think what else I need to tell you. Right. So what I think would be nice is the board behind me. I thought it'd be nice to have some of your artwork there, and after the shows it will go into my craft room. I've got a long craft room which was a hay shed, and it's got lots of frames, and it'd be nice to put your artwork there. No pressure. If you don't want to send anything, it's fine, but I know a lot of you like to share your work, and I'd love to be able to share it on my Natter with Nick shows. If you want, I've written my address down. So that's it. It's Nick Roberts, STR 6th, number 7, Garvan, Silistra 7589, and that's Bulgaria. I'd love to see the artwork in real life, whatever you do, so it would be brilliant if you would send in some, and then we'll feature it on the Natter with Nick wall. And what I can't fit on the wall, I'll go through and we'll show everyone together. I think it'd be a really nice thing to do. I've got 10 weeks now, I think, until I come back to Hochanda with my next collection. So we've got plenty of time, so get crafting and have fun. So what I'm going to do now is break, because I want to make sure that I upload something by 7 o'clock this evening, so I can sit and watch with you and talk to you. And last time it took well over 8 hours, so I thought if I break now, and then I'll do it as a separate video straight after. Alright, thank you.